everyone.
Hello to all my viewers and listeners. How y'all doing?
Before you start watching this video, I need you to go like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share, do all that. Now
if you repost us, please tag us. Some of you guys have been great. No issues with that, so definitely repost us.
Ooh, hold on. I have a hot thought today, but I don't know if you want to continue with the introduction before.
Go ahead.
My hot thought for today, honest, open truth. For the people that we are friends with, please don't make shit weird. You asking me how my podcast is doing lets me know you're not watching.
Literally.
And if you're not watching and this is not...
Or you're not listening.
Or you're not listening and podcasting isn't your thing, that is totally okay. But don't be weird about it. Don't feel obligated to bring it up every time I see you. Like, it's okay. Like, if podcasting isn't your thing, it's not your thing. But don't ask me, how's the podcast doing? Because it's fucking weird. If you have constructive criticism or you want to share your thought on a topic that we discuss, by all means, let's have that conversation. But do not ask me how my podcast is going because it's fucking weird. And it makes me cringy. It makes me cringe at the fact that you're openly telling me you're not supporting me, but yet you want to know. You can know about our podcast by watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. And that's my hot thought for today. I was in my feelings this week, so there's that.
That's true.
It's annoying.
That hasn't happened to me per se. Not that I know of, but not that I can recall. I should say, but I get it. Like you said, podcasting isn't for everyone, but some of those people who may not listen to podcasts because of, they don't want those.
We have the visual version.
YouTube, and those are the same people who watch videos all damn day on YouTube. It's a video when you click on it on YouTube. We're just saying,
Yeah.
We're not trying to turn anyone off or scare anyone away or potentially any new viewers away. We're just saying.
I really
don't know us.
Fake support makes me uncomfortable. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
That's fine.
End of story.
We can't be everyone's cup of tea, and that's
right.
Fine.
So, for instance, like my brother and my sister are huge gamers, like huge. Like my brother-in-law too, and they have their own YouTube for that. I watch it. Do I understand it? No, but I want their view. I have zero clue as to what the fuck is going on. I'm like, okay, she won that game. I don't know. But I help her with viewerships, or I help them with their viewerships, and and get traction going for them. I support them in that way. When I do see them, I ask them, like, what the hell is that one about? Like, or like, I didn't understand what was, like, did you win? Like, I don't know. But if honestly, like, if I didn't want to, like, watch it, I probably wouldn't watch it. And I would just, I'm like, hey, I'll follow you and I'll like every episode, but I'm not going to watch it because I don't understand what's going on.
Right, that's fine. Some type of support, like, and I get it, IG's algorithm and whatnot, but, even if you don't watch the full episode, just watching the first 5 minutes or so, it adds a view. Just saying. So do that. You know what I mean?
I'm in my petty bag today, so let's just hope this whole episode goes well.
Okay. So this week's.
Wait, how was your week?
Oh, this week, interesting. Interesting. I'm not gonna divulge into it too much. I'll wait for the right time. Maybe when we come back for season 3.
Oh, season 3 is about to be so fire.
So yeah, for season 3, I'll relay more information. I won't relay any information now, but
wait, are we gonna call it season 3 since we're gonna go like straight through, like we're not taking any breaks?
I want to take breaks. I'm sorry, I changed. Because I know.
I'm about to say, can you make that clear? Because you definitely said you want to go straight through.
I said in the beginning, we want to go straight. I said that let's try to go straight through, but I realized sometimes we do need our breaks and stuff. So it's good that we added 5 more episodes. The first season was 10, so we said, okay, let's add 5 more episodes. So season 3.
Maybe we can do 20 episodes a season.
Yeah, see how it goes. Do 20 episodes, but our minimum at the moment will be 15, but we'll see if we can push it to 20. But yeah, the break is needed because we have our own stuff going on. Sometimes it
actually rolls into our topic for today.
Yes, so sometimes we have a lot of stuff going on, so we need to we need these next couple of weeks off to ourselves to regroup, recharge, and then we jump back into it again. So, so season 3.
I will say, when I go, how do I say it? If I have a really consistent schedule, I get burnt out easily, and my creative process isn't as strong as it was at one point. So I noticed in my productivity in the podcast has not been how I would like it, but I promised Peggy that I would show up regardless. So I want to be able to bring the energy that I want for this podcast. So there's that. So I feel like that month I'm going to really focus on bringing stuff new to the podcast, more exciting shit, be more creative. I'm excited.
I'm excited for it.
We're running low on topics. That's another thing. So we definitely can't fucking go straight through.
Yes. So for those of you who have any topics in mind, please email us, message us, write in the comment section. Those of you who are on our Instagram, DM us something. We're trying to get, if anything, more than anything, we're trying to get more male guests. For those of you, our male friends that know us and know of a great topic or a topic that we discussed before and you want your male input into it, your opinion on it from your experiences, that would be great. I would love that. I have a few guys in mind for next season, and I know you do too. And there's some topics we're going to do a part 2 for them. So please be on the lookout because we want to share the male experiences and how it involves women too. So we want the male perspective as well because we're all in it. We're all dealing with some shit. So why not? How was your week?
I think I said in the last episode that this month has just been extremely busy. All good things, but it's demanding of my time. So actually, first let's get into the fact of this topic. Right, that's my weekend. My weekend was busy. So the topic for today is, are you burnt out? Is that the name?
Feeling burnt out.
Feeling burnt out.
You want to start off with the definition?
Yes, Peggy.
All right. So, we like to do. Thank you. We like to do our little research from time to time before we jump into the topic. So, burnt out, exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually as a result of prolonged stress or frustration. So, me and Jessica have both felt that in our own ways.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be to a point where you're like, fuck it, fuck everything, fuck everyone, your mother, your family, the generation after that,
family,
and the generation after that, and after that. And
we're Virgos. I'm very much in that fuck you bag.
Sorry.
Like that fuck you bag is always on hand because when I feel burnt out, I'm just like, fuck everybody. I will literally ignore calls. I will ignore texts. People that I actually care about, I'll be like, hey, I'm not feeling it today, so I'll call you when I call you. And obviously, there's a partnership between me and Peggy, so I can't ignore her. Because she's always, when we were talking, 90% of the time it's about the podcast and like whatever. So I don't ignore that. Like, my obligations I do not ignore. But like, when I don't, like, if it's just to chop it up, I'm definitely ignoring you. Like, we're not having this conversation because I'm burnt out and I emotionally can't even comprehend anything you're saying. And so recently, I will go into this, but as of like 2 days ago, so Thursday, so something happened at work on Wednesday. There was some racially insensitive things that were said to me. I didn't know how to process this.
No, I don't deal with racism.
I did the opposite of what I wanted to do, and I'm so upset with myself. But so the conversation, someone I've known for years that works with me, she had asked about my sister and how the baby was. Like, did she have the baby? So I've known this woman for like 10 years. So I tell her about the baby. I'm going on and on about the baby and my family and everything that's going on in my life. And I was like, well, enough about me. What's up with you? She's like, oh, I'm just really tired. So let's preface this by saying she's a woman. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I've known her for 10 years. So she goes, I'm tired of COVID. I can't wear a mask. Like, I'm sick of the mask. I'm sick of everything.
COVID fatigue. Some people are feeling it. I get that.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, I feel it. And then she was like, it's a bunch of bullshit anyways. Like, I'm not going to mix up her words by saying what she said verbatim because I don't remember verbatim, but I know the context was basically saying, like, she felt like COVID wasn't a real thing. It's just like a mild flu, like a mild cough and cold, like
that killed millions of people.
Yeah, it didn't affect her or the people that were around her, so she doesn't feel like it's real.
Of course.
And I was like, well, there's variables, like this, like COVID can like be mild to some people and like detrimental to others. And so I was like, yeah, like my dad was in the hospital for 2 weeks. He just got home last week. He's still feeling residuals of it, but he's getting better. And she was, every time I repeat this, my fucking chest, I get so angry. She goes, I know a friend who's a biologist, and he's done research on COVID, and he doesn't know why. Mind you, he's a biologist, he's doing research, he should know why. But he doesn't know why. But COVID hits ethnic groups a lot harder, like Latinos and blacks. This was directly after I told her my dad was in the hospital for 2 weeks. So one, she thinks I'm Latino. That's, you've known me for 10 years and you don't know I'm not Latino. There's that. 2, Peggy.
Yo, those people get away.
She's like, cause you know, like I'm Irish, and before she could even explain to me why she was Irish and why it doesn't affect her, I was like, oh my god, I'm having a meeting in like 20 minutes. I have to get prepared for it, so I'll talk to you later. And at first, this isn't my first instance, so my initial reaction was to laugh, like, oh my god, PTC people are crazy. Like, this place never ceases to amaze me. So then as I was talking about it to my coworkers and I was making jokes about it, it started to like set in. Like, okay, I'm in this really toxic space. Granted, my group, we cool. But the outside group, like the other departments, not so much. I'm not cool with them. Yeah. So the more I kept processing what she said, the more infuriated I became. My boss was like, you need to go to HR and you need to put this on. Like, you need to do something about this.
Girl, HR would have saw me so fucking fast with my crochet in tow. Because, girl, I'm filing a report. I do not care.
Girl. Yep.
You gotta hit
But I just was like so baffled because this is someone that I thought was cool. Not my friend, but cool because she's an older woman. She's from a generation that her parents probably... Anyways, I'm not making any assumptions. So that's what happened. So I mentally could not bring myself to go to work and like fake the funk as if shit's not bothering me. So I called out Thursday because mentally I was not okay. Like I was not faking it at work. I was not gonna do it. Then Thursday came, I had a conversation with my cousin. She forced me to talk to her because I was ignoring everybody. She's like, answer your fucking phone. And I'm just like, what? What do you want? And so we had a really I think it was like a 3-hour conversation. And she made me feel a little better about it. But then like Thursday night came, Friday morning came. I really tried to smother all the energy I had to get ready for work. And I was like, I can't do it. I cannot fucking go in there today. So I called out again. So after talking to several people and now like how I feel towards the situation is not as severe as what I felt Wednesday and Thursday. I'm ready to go back to work. But I was not okay. I was not okay. So that's feeling burnt out too because I'm like, I literally have to go to work and put on a face. Like I have to like smother up like an okay face to go to work. And I hate it. I fucking hate it. And it's no reflection of my team. It's just the environment. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Peggy, what are your thoughts on her? Do you think her biologist friend? My biggest thing was like your biologist friend who's doing study on COVID doesn't know why, but it hits ethnic groups a lot harder. What is he doing? Like, what's his research? What's his base? Like, what is his studies? Like, there has to be some form of information.
Yeah, there's information. It's systemic racism. That's why. The fuck? Like, I don't need to break it down. That shit alone pisses me off.
I have to breathe because I was like, what?
I'm gonna go in. That lady, oh my god. So with that instance, when people ask those dumbass questions, like, I don't know why it's affected them so much harder. First of all,
this was directly after I told her my dad was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
We're already put into environments where we're not supposed to thrive anyways. That's where they put us at, right? And then put us in environments where there's limited resources. So when a pandemic hits, we get hit the hardest. Most of us are already dealing with preconditioned issues, right? Predisposed, I shall say. A lot of African Americans are dealing with sickle cell. That certain diseases do target us specifically, unfortunately. People are dealing with lupus. People are dealing with other health ailments that if you add something onto that with a weakened immune system, it will be detrimental. Then you have people where when the vaccine first came out, people who don't live, specifically white people who don't live in certain areas in New York. I remember when the vaccine first came out, they were leaving their upstate areas, coming down to New York City to get vaccines. You're taking away from those people who are living in those areas that are already having issues. You can fucking get the vaccine. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, it'll get to you when it gets to you.
It'll get to you. And I'm pretty sure with this whole, when the height of Omarion going up, when we were trying to find at-home tests, I'm pretty sure most of them were going into the towns, into the hoods per se, to get at-home tests, take-home tests that we barely have access to. We're struggling just to find it. And that's the issue. Like, people fail to realize or refuse to realize in this day and age, just technology that we have in fucking 2022, you tell me you cannot fucking Google systemic racism and how it affects us from the rooter to the tutor? Y'all don't know that? Y'all don't know that. Racism isn't solely based off of slavery. Yes, we do realize that. And that's one of the greatest sins that this country won't admit to. Like, fucking say you're sorry and give us the resources that we need. You keep talking about high crime areas. High crime areas, they lack resources. They lack jobs. They lack programs that can help these people. If I don't have what I'm supposed to have, eventually I'm going to turn to a life of crime. White people do the same fucking shit we do, but they give them the different name. The fuck?
Yeah.
But anyways,
the mental exhaust, like the mental and emotional like toll it took on me. I couldn't fucking do it.
Girl, ooh, there's a video clip I saw. I saved it for a specific reason because I'm like, I know one day we're gonna have a podcast where we have to use this clip. I will send it to you so you can clip it, because I swear certain people want the nigga to come out of you so they can say, I knew it. The black girl, the angry black girl is gonna come out. And then there's another clip I saw the other day, and it was literally talking about how you know, the standardized English, how the tone that they use when they speak English, how in other cultures our tone sounds different. So in certain instances it might sound like we have an attitude when we really don't. So I still get upset when people say, you're so defensive and you sound angry. I am not angry. Maybe you don't.
I'm not angry. You're just sensitive.
I'm not. I'm just explaining something, and literally, like, the other day, my student was like, Miss, we thought you were so mean when you walked into class, but then you're actually chill. I'm like, it's the face. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've always had this face.
I don't think I've had this experience with you, but a lot of my friends, especially my friends from high school, all told me that they thought I was a bitch before they became my friends. Even some of my work friends, they was like, oh, we thought you was a bitch. I was like, why? Because I didn't smile. I wasn't like a creep. Just like, I'm not doing that. Like, the fuck? You talk to me, I talk to you.
Yeah, I say good morning. Yeah. And that's the thing. I still get coworkers that claim, like, every job I've ever had, with the exception of, you know, so crazy, the black people that I work with never complained about my stance of how I feel. They say, good morning, what's up? How's it going? You know, it's going. We're here. The typical line black people like to use. I'm here. But white people get offended. Like, they want you to start telling your life story.
Does anybody ever tell you, like, living the dream? Are you living something about, like, oh, how's it going? Like, living the dream?
Yeah. No,
I picked that word up because obviously saying, like, it's going. Like, when they're like, oh, how's it going? I'm like, it's going. Like,
I'm here.
I don't know where it's going, but it's going.
I have a lot of my coworkers, how's it going today? I'm like, I'm here. They're like, I feel you. Because it's like, you know, and, you know, the whole constant of want me to indulge more about my personal life.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. If I even have a select few people that look like me that I won't tell them my personal business, what makes you think I'm going to tell you? But anyways, yes.
Unfortunately, you may know my personal business watching this, but...
Yeah, that's about it. That's the only way you probably pull it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know you know you don't.
Yeah. And you can't even wrap your, like, little brain into knowing exactly who I am off this 1 hour episode. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like,
no. But literally, so...
Off on a tangent, but all tied in together.
Yes. So, the feeling of burnt out, right? So, the question I wrote down is, how does feeling burnt out feel for each of us? So, for me... I feel like I start to
lose. That's a good question. Peggy's in her little podcasting bag to dirt. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm losing control of whatever I know I have control over. Like we're always told like you only have you're only supposed to control the things that you know you have within your reach, right? I shouldn't be worried about outside powers or energy, right? I'm only focused on the energy within my circle or whatever. I maybe in college the burnt out came in, but I never recognized it as such, right? Because
What did you associate as like anxiety?
Probably associated with just, I just feel tired. Like I'm just tired, lacking sleep and stuff. But then
that's a good
I
one.
didn't recognize it because my therapist was telling me you have to start learning to be in tune with your body, which I am not, but I'm learning to be. She's like, you have to be in tune with it because she's like, sometimes your body will give you signs, energy that you know is like, this ain't right, you know? But she was telling me I need to work on that because I'm like, I probably felt it back then but didn't know how to identify it as, right? So for me, more recently, I remember last year back in November, I took some time off. I took a medical leave from my job because mentally I just couldn't do it. And
I took a week. I think it was right before your mental leave.
You took a week. I took
do nothing.
I took 6 weeks off, and I never have.
You barely take sick days.
In the history of me working, I never took that much time off from work. If I do, it's usually a couple of days because I am sick, like literally sick, and I cannot come in. I think the last time I took like 5-6 days off from work, I had caught the flu like 5-6 years ago. And that's it. Other times it's like, okay, I just need a personal day, a quick mental. Like I have worked at this job for like 6-7 years to the point where, I schedule my mental days. Like, okay, I've been working 12 weeks straight. This Monday I'm taking it off as a mental day. And we all know a lot of us struggle to wrap our minds around like the Sunday is dreadful. We're like, fuck, I gotta go to work tomorrow. And I've always said, look, if my job ever asked me, which day off would you prefer? I would take Mondays. Because Friday, you're going into the weekend anyway, so why have Friday off? That's my mind frame. Now, when I was in school, I didn't think of it as such. I just said, word, Friday off. But now as an adult, I realized I prefer Mondays off over Friday. But I was already mentally ready to go into work in September, to go into the building, physically full on. And then slowly but surely, I think, like, before I graduated with my master's, I started to feel away, like, I'm really not feeling. I feel like I'm struggling every day to get up. And this was like 2 weeks after my birthday. I'm like, I'm struggling. I'm walking through the hallways. It's like, and I'm really fighting not to express those feelings towards the students, trying to hide it. Thank God for the face mask, trying to hide it from my face so they can't tell. And I don't want to put that energy on them. So I remember the last Tuesday of September, I took it off. I'm like, I gotta call it. I can't do this. In order for me to last the rest of this week, I need tomorrow off. I called out. Like, I feel like if I do not take this day off, I'm not gonna last the rest of the week.
I might just put in my 2 weeks. Fuck that. I might just quit.
Like, I'm not coming tomorrow or the rest of the year.
Consider this my 2 weeks.
So I took that day off. Then October rolls around. I'm like, okay, we got Indigenous People Day. We got that day off. And then, okay, I'm really trying to hype myself up.
You just gotta make it through.
You gotta make it through. You got Veterans Day, and then you got Christmas break. You can handle this, girl. My brain's like, fuck all that. I can't. So I'm like, oh.
Like, we've been trying to tell you burnt out. You're not listening to us.
So you know what? A lot of it is adding on to running 2 businesses, and then I was getting my master's. I was on the go.
2 businesses, bitch. We started this
around that time. So at the time where I started realizing, like, okay, I'm adding on this stuff. So I've always had Peace Patties, Lips Body Utopia, working full time. At one point, I had another job. Per diem per se, I would pick up as I went. Then finally, the beginning of 2021, I stopped doing it. Then I kept just working full time as a teacher. Then doing my work for my master's, and then added on to the podcast. So the businesses, I want people to understand. People might say, I don't know how you handle that. The businesses are my hobbies, and I love them. So it brings me joy. So I don't feel a type of way about.
You don't feel like it's work.
It's not work. I make time for it. Does it get a little stressful because handling the in and outs? Yes. But I enjoy it. But it got to a point where I realized when my master's program started to wind down, because I was pretty much done, and I had to present my project, my end results, and all that data stuff I had to do. I come back, just waiting to graduate, and I realized, okay, I think at that point, maybe my body started to slow down on the concept, like, okay, you're doing school, you're doing the podcast, you're doing Peace Patties, then you're doing Lost Body Utopia, and then I added on a tutoring program I'm still doing it, I just don't run it during the school year because I'm busy with school. But I added that on too, on top of everything else I was doing, right? And then I guess my brain and my body started to catch up with everything else, and I'm starting to slow down. It's like, you was going on the go, you're finally slowing down on a lot of things, like, damn, you need a break. So I'm not thinking of such, and I'm actually nervous, like, damn, how am I going to take all this time off? Like, I don't know how this goes because I never did it. And I literally, my therapist did a letter for me. I ended up having an appointment with my doctor for her to meet with me. And she broke it down to me. She's like, honestly, you need to designate this time off. You need to designate some weeks that you do absolutely nothing. I get it. You want to work out. That helps. Try to eat right. If you need to reorganize things to get your brain to look at things differently, do that, which I did. But she's like, you need to spend a week or two doing absolutely nothing. Like, do nothing.
You saying that? Remember in the very beginning, we were talking about, we were stating 5 facts about ourselves. Like I think it was the very first episode.
Yeah, very first.
And I said I need a weekend to myself, non-negotiable. I haven't had that because remember when we're doing double editing, it's because one of us has something to do. And so I haven't had that, and that's probably another reason why I've been so triggered. But yeah, I think your therapist is right. You should have a weekend at least to yourself to just like decompress, recharge, and figure shit out.
Yeah, so dealing with that, so I put the request in for originally for 5 weeks, and then the week I thought I was gonna come back, I was like, yeah, my energy's still not feeling it. So I asked for an extension, got the extension, and that week I literally went and got a massage, got a pedicure, got a facial. I forgot what else did I go do. I did for me. I relaxed, caught up on some shows, and I didn't feel guilty about it. And that's another thing. When you get to that point, I think society has built us, especially as Black women, that the moment you try to ask for help or you try to chill out from doing something, you feel guilty because you're always supposed to be on the go. And you know what I read somewhere? And it's sad that slavery has a lot to do with a lot of shit that we're still conditioned to do, and it's been passed on, which is so weird. On the plantation, as women, you could just give birth right now. The moment you gave birth, you were expected to go back on the plantation, right? So you gotta imagine, we know how childbirth is today. You know, your body still have to heal, and then you're told to go back. The only way you were given an extra day or two
that just
to
like
rest.
brought chills, because then it just reminds me of like the dynamic between the mother and child sometimes, like especially this generation. Yeah.
So it's like the only time you were guaranteed the extra day off or two is because something happened. And the slave master wants to make sure that his slave is in good condition, so you get the day off. But then they deem you as lazy. The moment you don't do, and it's funny coming from people
that
who
guilty feeling, like taking a time off to yourself. I felt that. Like I fought myself to literally make that phone call or send that email to my boss and saying I can't come in because I'm like, Jessica, they're gonna think like you're using this as an excuse. I was finding every reason not to call out.
Oh, thank God you didn't call me, because I was like, bitch, call out. Because that's been my move this past year. Like,
call the fuck out.
Put the request in.
Yeah.
Proof the I ain't coming.
Yeah, like, listen, PTO stands for prepare the others, because I'm not coming.
I just don't care. Like, I got enough time. You don't prove it. I ain't
sick day. Put that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like the whole concept of like Black people feeling guilty for taking time off because they're gonna be deemed as lazy is definitely still resonates with me. I always feel guilty taking time off because I'm like, oh, she barely does work, and now she's definitely like not doing work. She feel like she deserves time off. Like, yes, I do deserve. You don't know what's going on in my personal life and my outside life of this place, because this place is only 40 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Like, it's not 40 hours a day.
Lord, that is slavery.
40 hours a week. I would never. First off, it's not even 40 hours in a day.
No.
But yeah, so yeah.
It does tie into that. So that has been passed down to us, having us feel like if we take the time off, whatever that may be, is deemed as us being lazy. Mind you, coming from the people who took our ancestors from across the ocean to do their fucking work for free. But I'm lazy. mailed. I don't like that at all. I hate that shit. When I read about that stuff, it pisses me off. But it pisses me off for a good reason, because I'm learning about it and it adds more knowledge to me, and it makes me realize, okay, now I see why we're doing that. So that's why I want us to break
my ancestors.
Yeah, for the next generation. Do not feel bad. And that's why, like, one of my students, I said, hey, what's up with you? I didn't see you yesterday, but you did the work. I'm cool with that. What happened? She's like, mental day, miss. I'm like, I approve. And I tell my kids that.
I approve this statement.
I tell my students, look, if you need a mental day from being here, trust me, you need to do it. Because I, as your teacher, will be taking mental health days. So you need it too. So it's like, as much as teachers, and I believe all workers should be guaranteed on top of the sick days, but mental health days. It's like, if I'm sick and I need to tend to the rest of my body, why can't I tend to this? Because I need this to fucking work and be right for me to do everything else, right? So I expect the same from my students. I get it. We grew up in a generation that we were told that ain't nothing wrong with you, go to school, right? And we're dying fighting for our fucking lives to go to school, right? These kids know this. They're doing better than us in that aspect. Do some take advantage? Anything that has been placed in society, someone's gonna take advantage of it. Find a way, find a loophole. It's been happening for centuries. But I'm not gonna fault them for that. I'm like, if you need a fucking mental health day, take that shit. Because at the end of the day, you can drop dead right now, and guess what? Your boss will make sure you're clocked out before the paramedics come. Probably send a bouquet of flowers to your family, or my condolences, and then your job is being posted the next day. I'm not saying because of that not to do your job. Yes, do your job or whatever. And if you can't stand it, try to do your best to find a better job that's going to treat you right and pay you accordingly. But till then, I will never bend over backwards for no fucking job. When I started to realize how jobs really be treating people, and then you get punished for doing an amazing job by adding more work onto it instead of hiring someone else to do it to make my work a little bit easier. Fuck y'all. I'm not doing that. Hell fucking no. Why do you think the job right now, jobs are struggling to find people? Because a lot of people are like, no, fuck this. Fuck y'all.
Fuck that job. Bitch, I quit.
Like, seriously, so me feeling that way, I was like struggling almost every morning to get up to go to work. And I said, instead of me calling out almost every week, I need to take a medical leave. So I took the medical leave for my mental. I got a lot of stuff done, and it felt good to rest. It felt good to recharge.
I envy you so fucking much. If it
I
wasn't for these bills,
girl.
Because I don't know if FMLA is. I gotta see if I have. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
So you gotta check on a lot of certain things. But what I will say is, it gave me great joy to kind of restock, like go into my business and refurbish it, do a lot of things that I wasn't even paying attention. Like, even people notice, like, yo, you haven't posted on Pete's Patio, List Body Utopia in over a month. And usually I have a tendency every week or every couple of days I'm posting for people to see, advertise. And I just didn't care to post. Like, I might post something here and there, but no. But then after a while, when I felt ready, I did post, I've been taking care of my mental health. That's why I haven't been doing much of this, that, or the third. So feeling burnt out can, like the definition says, it could be fatigue from an emotional standpoint, a physical standpoint, and a mental standpoint. Like, I am mentally tired. I cannot think straight. I cannot speak to you clearly. I cannot do the things that I love. And that's what my therapist says. The moment you stop enjoying the things you're supposed to love, like the things you're supposed to love, then that's when it becomes concerning. Because once I told her I do not enjoy, like, I enjoy reading. That's my thing. I always love cracking a book and reading it. And like, sometimes I'll post like a dope quote on my page. The book sat there for months collecting dust.
Same. You couldn't get a book out of my hand. Now it's like, you can't get a book in my hand.
Literally, I was like, I'll tell myself, like, yeah, I'm gonna read it. I'll put it right next to me on the bed. Man, I'll fall asleep. Like,
it's like your nightstand decor.
Yep, it's just there.
Collecting dust.
So it's like, okay, Peggy, and I'll tell myself, yo, Pegs, you gotta do better, girl. Read tomorrow. Don't read. So it's like, fuck. So when it got to that point, I explained it to my therapist. She was like, yeah, you need a mental break. Because the moment you stop enjoying the things that you love to do without someone telling you need to do it, she's like, that's when it becomes concerning. So I took that. Certain moods haven't changed though. I'm not gonna go in right now about it, but I was telling Jessica about it earlier before we recorded. Like, yeah, that part of my mood has not changed. I'll be like, fuck, I gotta get up and go do this. So She knows why. She's smiling because I already explained to her. That mood has not changed. That's why I'm like, I'm making my decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, for the summer. But other than that, like, for me, it's like, it was a lot. And I was telling Jess, like, it's fucking a lot for me. How about you? How does feeling burnt out?
Well, first off, the irony in this word is like, I have a candle lit and it's very close to my wallet and it looks like it's burning. Is it like it's burning? Like it's gonna burn the wallet?
No, but I can get up and move it.
No, don't move it. No.
Okay.
I'm not editing that shit.
Okay.
Okay, burnt out. So as I told you, I had to take 2 days off because I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't smother up a smile and fake conversation. I just couldn't do it. And I knew people were going to ask me if I was okay regarding the situation I had to deal with on Wednesday. I just didn't feel like having that conversation.
Were they around when this happened?
No, it was just me and the lady talking.
Okay.
And then when I walked away from the situation, I went to my coworker. I told her, I was like, God, I hope I'm never like this woman. Because her circumstances, like her life, is very similar to how I want it. Like childless, not married, living her best life. I'm like, wow, she's like in her 50s and she's just living her best life. But I'm like, she's so isolated with reality. Like she created this bubble of people that think like her, act like her, and agree with her, that she doesn't even have the tough conversations to challenge her thought process.
Those people are dangerous.
Dangerous. And I was like, thank God I keep people around me that challenge me. They don't accept my lame ass excuses. They will challenge my thought process. So like I'm never in this like little bubble. Like never. But how I identify with being burnt out, because I'm very clear on how like there's clear indicators when I'm burnt out. Peggy still believes it's not as bad, but when my house is a mess, that's a clear indicator that I'm burnt out. Like I don't even have...
It'd be one pillow on the
floor. No,
floor.
it don't.
My room is dirty, Peggy. Watch out. Pillow. Like girl.
Yeah, and then another thing, like as much as I tell y'all people I don't like grocery shopping, I will justify spending $150 on takeout for 3-4 days before I spend $150 on groceries, because I don't fucking want to go grocery shopping. Or I'll have dishes piled up in the sink. It'll take me 3 days to clean the bathroom as opposed to like every other day, just like a quick spray down, like spray down the tub and stuff. Like it'll take me 3 or 4 days. Yeah, a laundry will take 3 weeks instead of every 2 weeks like I would want. Right now we're at a month. So yeah, thank God I purged all my clothes, so everything that's in my closet fits me. So I still have about another 2 weeks of clothes. Good. Thank God. But yeah, like my home is like how my brain functions. So like how it looks aesthetically, how it smells, how it feels. That's who I am. So when that's a mess, that's just a clear indicator of where I'm at mentally. And so that's when it was Friday. I'm laying on this couch and I'm like watching something on my phone, and I look around. I was like, Jessica, this is nasty. Them dishes has been in there for 2 days. So put them shits in the dishwasher. And I have a dishwasher, so there's like no reason why there should be dishes in the sink. So I got up and I was like, okay. But in my head, I'm like, all right, so why are we feeling this way? I know you had this experience on Wednesday and it's really took a toll on you mentally. But there's other variables. Like, I just feel like I don't have the time to myself. I've been going back and forth with my mom and my brother because they're moving soon. My dad just moved. I just helped him move to his new house. My sister just had the baby, so we've been over there a lot. And just, I haven't really been home. So when I come home, I'm ready to just drop my bag, take my shoes off. And I had like a pile of shoes at the doorway. Like every possible pair of shoes that I could wear to work was at the front door because I just never moved it and put it back where it's supposed to belong. So there's that. And then like, so the fact that my refrigerator is empty, my house is clean only because Peggy's here. That's the only reason why I cleaned. And my room is in shambles. I started the process of sorting out my clothes to do laundry, but then I had to go to my mom's house this morning, so I just like, fuck it, leave it there. So there's that. That's how I know. So there's clothes everywhere.
Yeah, so feeling burnt out can feel a lot of ways for anyone. So we're saying like recognize if you have a routine for yourself and you realize like that routine is not going how it's supposed to go. Yeah. It's just not going for you.
It's not giving what it's supposed to give.
Right, or you feel too tired to do it.
You opt for sleep more than food. Like, there was one day I had to force myself to eat because I didn't eat breakfast or lunch.
Whoa.
I know. Food doesn't stop me from doing anything.
Whoa.
That day, I went, it was like 6 p.m. I'm like, bitch, all you had was water. Like, you didn't eat breakfast. You didn't have lunch. So I had to order takeout. And, of course, I ordered the worst food. I ordered pizza. When I really wanted pho, but where I wanted pho from wasn't open. So I had pizza for dinner. I didn't even eat. I forced myself to eat.
You know what happens? You know what happens for me not to eat is...
if you're just busy.
Busy sometimes will lead because I'm so active moving around that I don't realize that I'm hungry or whatever. It's like the day of an event or something. I'll forget that I need to eat. Like, I'll have something really late in the morning, but hours will go by. Another thing for me is nervousness about something, or like if it just fucks me up.
Same. Whenever I have to talk in a meeting.
Yeah, I will forget.
I'm not eating a damn
because I'm not
thing.
trying to throw up. So, and I think the last time I didn't eat something is when I went through a bad heartbreak. Like,
that's when I eat the most.
I know, but like later on, I started eating. But when the shit first happened, that's why the memes they said, you know, wait till I get off work to break up with me. That's one of the worst things you have to deal with when you're at work.
Happened to yeah. That's too much.
It's like, ow, like, I'm at work. Now I gotta deal with this shit while I'm dealing with my shift. Like,
yeah, like, now you gotta, like, still smother up a smile like you give a fuck.
And when someone asks you, are you okay? And then you...
you just got the tears just welling up.
No, I'm never okay.
Or, you know what's to prevent myself from crying? I give mad attitude. I'm very short with my responses. Yes. How else can I help you? Like... Because I'm trying to prevent myself from crying. So if I'm ever nasty and short with people, it's because I'm trying my hardest not to cry.
I'm like, this bitch finna cry. That's should be
lips start quivering.
Yo, thank God for the face mask now, but still, even though it can't really hide your eyes expressions, but at least this part is like you see, because I don't like.
My dad pissed me off on Saturday when we were moving. And so every time I kept entering in the house and I would see him doing something he's not supposed to be doing, like not picking up a fucking box and putting it in the car. The third time I walked in the house, I'm like, are you gonna pick a box up and put it in the car? And he was like, he calls his boo-boo or dada. He's like, dada, my chest, it hurts. Like, the same lungs you are using to talk to these people on the phone, you are using to pick up a box and put it in the car. That's besides the point. But then I felt bad because then he came over here and started explaining to me why he can't pick up a box. And I felt like, why you gotta be so mean? Why you gotta be so mean? He's your dad. He's old. But he pissed me off. He was acting like a bad bitch the other day, so while we were moving. But yeah, I'm very much, in order to prevent myself from crying, I'm very fucking mean. I'm very short. I'm very abrupt. I'm very not nice. And these masks, because like in my head I'm doing this like, what the fuck? But the mask covers that, so... I
have the mask and my glasses, so to a certain extent you really can't see anything unless someone's really in my face. But the thing with feeling burnt out is like my therapist told me, you need to recognize it and don't force yourself. And that's another thing. What we fail to realize sometimes when we start to overexert our bodies to keep doing certain things, our bodies will shut down. And it can shut down at any given moment, and that's the dangerous thing. Like, you could be walking and you just faint. Yeah. You could be driving, and that's the scary thing. Imagine blacking out while driving. So, I mean, shit, I sneezed
like
while driving.
Like zoning out? Not blacking out, but like zoning out, like mentally, and you just continue to miss your exit?
No, like, there's certain parts where your body becomes exhausted that it will literally shut off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, you remember, like, a couple of years ago, I think it was the artist August Alsina, he was performing, and he just fainted while performing, and he fell off the stage.
Oh, yeah.
So, his body was so exhausted. So, it's like, that's why people say, if you don't chill out, your body will do it for you, and it can do it at any given moment. So don't let these jobs, and I get it, the way work is set up, you might have a job where you don't have enough sick time and whatever those circumstances is, because we know it's easier said than done.
A lot of jobs are actually implementing the whole unlimited PTO. But the problem with that, when you give the illusion that you have unlimited personal time off, you less likely to take time off. Really? Less likely to take. Yeah, that's like a fact. That's like a researched fact. So it's a manipulative way to get your employees to think like you have all this freedom, but the guilt of taking time off almost always. Because when you say like, hey, you have 3 weeks of vacation, you know, like, okay, I'm splitting my 3 weeks. But when you say I have unlimited time, if you take more frequent unlimited time off, paid, you're like, damn, I think I took too much for the year. Like, maybe I should chill. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. It's very manipulative. It was a known fact that I read.
Well, throw it my way because I won't feel guilty. Because bitch,
I really need to be on your level. The boss
sent the email saying, "Oh, your PTO it wasn't approved." I am already on the plane. I can't help you.
That's another thing. Unlimited PTO means it has to be approved in order for you to have it.
True.
Yeah.
So there's stipulations to everything. Like it may sound good, but is it really good?
Yeah, it's like good.
So, yes. So the other question I wrote is, what do we do to change that feeling? So for me, I recognize like my energy wasn't right, so I explained it to my therapist. Right. For those of you who are still opposed to therapy, get your life. Okay, get therapy. A lot of insurance companies will cover it. Some of them you don't pay anything. Some of them might pay a copay. Set a schedule. You don't have to see a therapist every day. You can set it where you see them once a week. Mine, I see her every other week. She's like, I can change my schedule at any given time. Every week.
I feel like in the very beginning, weekly might be ideal.
Yeah, to get something going.
They give you the tools and you kind of can figure out your emotions and better address them. You can go bi-weekly. I know people who went from weekly, bi-weekly, monthly to like yearly. Like just a quick yearly checkup.
Yep. So you can set your schedule any which way, but for someone who is trying to heal, trying to find
the
yourself,
very first couple of sessions,
you might need to go every week.
Yeah.
So, like again, like me and Jessica said before, do not dump all your shit on your friends or family members. Yes, they can be a listening ear, but you have to remember everybody's going through something, and sometimes they're already dealing with their own emotional shit, and then you add your emotional shit on top of their shit, and it's like, oh, fuck, this is another way I gotta carry.
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful of that and not be selfish in that aspect. So there's a lot of things I tend not to tell my friends, not because I'm secretive, because I realize they're going through their shit, so I dump it on my therapist. Yeah. Like, because she has
somebody
better
who's
tools.
Licensed and skilled to teach you how to navigate that.
Yes, and we also have to remember, and we will have a topic solely based on mental health. So therapists are not there to judge you. They're there, like Jessica said, to give you tools to navigate whatever it is that you're going through and give you more trained and skilled advice as opposed to your friends. Not saying your friends.
Because do you think your friends give you advice more based on their own personal experience and to kind of give you some like insight and color to your problems? Like how do you perceive friend advice? Is it very biased in the sense where like they're just thinking of you and not the other counterpart and hold? I know for some friends they don't hold you accountable. They assume that any problem you have is due to the other person. Mm-hmm. So now you're on this like you have this idea that like you're never the problem. That it's the people outside of you that are creating these problems. There are people that will use their experiences that are similar to what you're experiencing and say like, see, my experience was this way, so yours is gonna have to obviously be the same, so you should just dead this all together. When truly it's not the same. I think we should start normalizing just listening, because sometimes when you speak things out loud, especially things that you're going through, this shit starts to click towards you. Like when it's always stuck in your head, like, well, that's for me anyways, let me not say everybody, but for me, when I'm internalizing my feelings and I'm not like speaking them out loud, I don't understand like fully what I'm like experiencing. But when I speak out loud to somebody like, hey, this is what I'm going through, things in the process of me speaking out loud, things are starting to click. Like, oh, okay, got it, cool. And they have to say nothing. Like there's been plenty of times that my cousin has like been on the phone with me and I'm like telling her my problems. I'm like, oh, actually, I think I figured it out. And she's like, okay, well, glad to help. Got it. Gotta go. So.
Yeah, well, we know Virgos start to create scenarios and have full-blown conversations with themselves. So I do have a tendency to talk to myself about certain things, like this is what I'm going to do, just how I'm feeling. And sometimes I'm like, Becky, why are you even mad about that? Like some certain things, like I don't even end up telling my friends, even my closest friends. I don't end up saying shit, or I might end up telling them in passing, like, girl, let me tell you, and I've already passed that feeling, so I'm not even angry no more. I'm just telling them, girl, I forgot to tell you because shit's been going on. I'll tell them like a whole month later, like, yeah, a lot of shit was going on, that's why I didn't tell you. So I handled it myself in a sense because I had that conversation to myself, because like, see, why were you mad? But we're human. You have every right. The moment something hits you right then and there, you have every right to feel angry or feel a type of way. But when you really like you said in one of the podcasts, one of the episodes, like, yes, sit in those emotions. understand where they're coming from, but don't get it to a point that you're dwelling in it so much that it becomes a part of you and you're part of your characteristics. No, but sit in it, talk to yourself. If you need to talk to someone, I get it, but we're always gonna push therapy in every episode as much as possible. We have to invest in our mental health. It is not just a white person's problem. It is not just a rich person's problem. It is all our problems because we live in environments that are not healthy. We're stuck in environments where we're triggered all the time, dealing with police brutality, the way the system is set up and stacked up against us, the way we are viewed, especially as people of, I'm very specific, African Americans, because you can be a person of color and not be black, and I can be black and be not a person of color. So I'm clearing that out. So especially for African Americans, black people in this country, we are treated differently, and things are stacked up against us, from jobs to the criminal justice system. So we need to get therapy, okay? So I feel like recognizing that feeling where things that you would do normally, you're not feeling it. You have trouble getting out of bed. I'm not saying depression might not play a role, because it could be depression as well. But if you feel exhausted a lot, maybe it's time for you to take a break and really not do anything. Focus on yourself. And
I just think I need a vacation.
And you know another thing that plays a role too, with burnt out, I feel, is also setting boundaries, because sometimes people can actually burn you out. They're burning you out. They're draining you.
Let me fucking tell you guys something. Today I had that exact conversation. I said I was disappointed by a response given to me by somebody who I go above and beyond for, because I love them, not because
it's not me. I didn't do that to her.
No,
but she loves me.
Anyways, I had asked for a favor. The person gave me an excuse, and I was like, wow, I'm pouring into someone who doesn't see that it needs to be reciprocated. And again, I'm going to preface this by saying I don't do things to be reciprocated.
Right. You don't do it just to say, oh, I did it for you.
But unfortunately, the way I view like care and love for a person is by doing something when they need you to do something. Everybody who fucking knows me, I will die before I ask for help. So when I ask for help, I really fucking need help. Like, I'd rather struggle before I fucking ask for help.
We need to stop doing that.
No, it's so bad, and I'm really trying hard, and I think it's a defense mechanism, because then if somebody fails at something that I asked them to do, then I can't blame anybody but myself, because I'm trusting them. But either way, this is somebody who I love and I go above and beyond for, and I asked for a simple favor, and it was followed up by a lot of excuses and like stipulations and like restrictions. And I was like, say less. I'm not ever asking you for shit again. Nor will I reciprocate. I don't give a fuck if it's petty. I'm not pouring into you anymore. That's the number one reason why I'm so fucking drained this month. January is a wash. I don't give a fuck. It's not even 2022
We're gonna start February.
It's 2021 squared. Because I'm not counting January. My new year starts in February. Because the amount of shit that I went for people and done for people, and not for it to not be reciprocated, it was so, like, I was beyond myself. I was like, yep. I'm in my petty bag. I'm so in my petty bag. I don't give a fuck whose feeling I hurt. I'm going to start saying no to people.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I mean. So with boundaries play a role with us feeling burnt out. And I get it. Some people's like, but that's family. We have to understand. That. Family, you become
can be a detriment to you.
Yes. Family is because, one, you married someone in my family, you became family.
I got it.
Two, I was born into this family. But that doesn't mean for you to do certain things and for me not to be able to do it too, or vice versa. It doesn't work that way. Oh, you
expecting...
Or because you're older, is because that... And I get it. A lot of our older family members in that old style generation, I don't care if that's how they grew up. We have to hold them accountable. Same way we hold white people accountable. Like, yeah, I get it. Your grandmother grew in that generation of whatever it is that was tolerated. But we're not finna deal with that. This generation, we're not dealing with that. So same goes for your family members. I know, like we're going to say time and time again, it's easier said than done. You might say no and they're like, oh, she disrespected me. Okay, take it how you want to, Grandma, but I am not tolerating that. I love you to death.
That's not one thing my niece taught me. She don't give a fuck If it does not fucking benefit her, if it does not help her, she's telling you no. And she's going to fucking hold you accountable when you're wrong. Period. Point blank. I don't care if you're 65 or 6. You're getting cussed the fuck out. You're getting told about yourself. And you're going to be held accountable.
Yes. It's like, if you realize you're always going above and beyond, or someone not asking you first, a lot of my Haitian people know. Our parents are good for offering our services without asking us if we're capable of doing it. And I had to tell my mother plenty of times, do not do that, because she's the main culprit. My dad has never in his life offered up my services. Peggy can do this without asking me. You don't know that. What if when I get home from work, I didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted to shower and go straight to bed. You're going to say, oh, well, can you drop some? No. And the thing is, I felt bad because and you know what I hate? When people asking me to do a service for someone and the person's right there, because I don't want to look like the bitch and say no. So I tell my mom, you need to ask me ahead of time. Same way you can pick up the cell phone and cuss me out for me not doing whatever it is I'm supposed to do. You can pick up the phone and say, hey, I know you're just getting off for work, but I want to know, would you be able to do this, that, and the third before you get here, or whatever the case may be? Okay, Mom, I won't be able to do all that, but I can do this or something. But assuming, we got to stop doing that. We grew up in a generation where our parents did a lot. Try not to do it to our kids either. And our friends or whoever. Like, I tell people, I've been learning to say no. Like, sometimes I'll feel bad after, like, damn, I can't believe I said no. But I realize, and I'll talk to myself like, no, it wasn't going to work for you. It didn't make sense for you to go do all that when you know mentally your mind was set on staying home and not doing anything. And I told my mother that you grew up in a generation where you feel like, and I get it, my mom's a sweetheart, you have to do for others. You get up at the crack of dawn to start cooking. We don't live in this world right now. Yeah. You don't have to get up this early to cook for anyone, Mom. And I keep telling her that all your children are full-blown adults. I'm the youngest, but I'm an adult. I don't need you to cook for me. I don't need to do anything. Right now, we should be the ones, since we are capable, doing things for you, bringing you to your appointments. You want food, Mom? I'll find someone to cater it for you and cook it for you, or whatever the case may be. Not you going all this stuff. And I get it, as moms, the feeling is different. So, but at the same time, don't let people's connection to you be the excuse for you to constantly be doing things for them, and you're like I said, you're fighting for your fucking life, and they keep draining you and using you, right, and not respecting your space. The moment you start telling no, people are like, oh, she changed, or he changed, he done switched up on niggas. You literally
verbatim just said what my cousin said earlier.
Really?
So like, the minute you set boundaries, people think you changed. Like, no, I just know where I fit into your life and your agenda. I have to fucking put boundaries with you because you don't respect my shit. You don't respect me. Yeah. End of story.
And my thing is, it's like, okay, if I don't set the tone on where you stand in my life when it comes to me saying no, or I can't do it today, I can do it another day, and you feel the type of way, then that lets me know that, God forbid something happens to me, you ain't gonna be the first one skipping and jumping to come to me. Yeah. So why am I doing it for you? Like, I told my mother, offer it. Emergencies only, I will hop, skip, and jump for anyone in my family. But if you are calling me because you fail to plan accordingly and think, oh, Peggy's home, she'll do it. I'm home because I want to be fucking home. Yeah. And it's not even because of COVID, because even before COVID, I had days where I sat my ass in the house and did not go any fucking where. So don't think because my day off means it's our day to do things. No, we're not doing that, because mentally I already put in my mind, yo, this is my day off. I'm just going to get up, maybe do breakfast, do a little bit of light cleaning, and just stay in my fucking bed all day and feel fucking good. And I told my mother, do not feel bad, do not feel guilty to rest. You need to rest. You are not 25. My mother, Lord willing, she will be 70 next month. Okay? That's a milestone.
I'm about to say, you remember older than mine, but no, she's not.
That's a milestone. I told her, you need to chill the fuck out and sit your ass down somewhere. Like, chill out. I want you to live to see 90, if not more. Okay?
Listen, I know people in my family hate when I talk like this, but I do not want to live a life where I am unable to care for myself. If that means my life ends at 60, then my life ends at 60.
No, most definitely.
I want to live a full life. I don't want to live a long life. I know selfishly, like, I don't want my mom to go, but I definitely don't want to see her
parents to go
at all.
She said that's one of her prayers. She always says that she always tells God, if her life starts to become or a place where she can no longer function for herself, even though her children will still help her, but to a point where like, you know, you can, like, you can do things for yourself, but it's slightly limited, but you can still function, as opposed to being able not to function. Someone has to come do it for you every step of the way. She's like, she does not want that. She says she just wants to go peacefully.
Yeah.
But if she's able to live 90 and move around, even though, at that age, I wouldn't want her driving. I don't mind bringing her to where she needs to go. But she's functional. She could do things or whatever with a little bit of assistance from us. So be it. I want that. But no one wants to be 90 and you're like...
morbid.
And someone has to come change your diaper, bathe you, do all these things for you, right? Because of old age.
No intention of living that
So
long.
yes, I truly understand where you're coming from that, because it is kind of miserable.
Selfishly, like, we want our parents around as long as we're around.
Yeah.
But I don't want my mom to be miserable, and
suffering.
I damn sure don't want to be miserable.
Right.
I want to live a full, happy life.
Exactly. So, like I said, feeling burnt out can come from different things. You overworking yourself, doing crazy amount of hours, or adding a lot on your plate. It can be family, friends that are not respecting your boundaries can add to the drainage as well of you. And it could be just mentally, you're a person that has to think a lot, use a lot of stuff. You gotta move quickly with your mind, and you realize, damn, I'm not taking a break. And taking a break doesn't necessarily mean a vacation per se. It could just be you taking a break from everything. And it doesn't mean like suicide thoughts or depression. Yeah. Depression and that suicide can add on to it too if that's already factoring in. But it doesn't necessarily mean that. It could be literally your body is fucking tired and your body's screaming like, help me. Like,
can somebody tell this girl to relax?
Right.
That's what I feel about you. And I love that you are ambitious and you want better for yourself. And you're not going to settle to work for other people. You're going to build whatever empire. I don't even know what you're doing because you're doing a lot of everything. But I just hope it doesn't come to a point where you're burnt out. Like, burnt out in the sense where, like, now everything is just getting bits and pieces of you. Like, all your business ventures are getting, like, 2 to 10% of you and not, like, the full 100 that you want to give to any business that you set out for yourself.
Yep.
So.
Understood. No, I know. I've thought about that too. That's why I'm like, okay,
because every time she says, "Oh, I think I've started a new business," I just roll my eyes because I'm just like, this girl don't know when to quit. Not to say I want her to like settle for mediocrity, not even a little bit, but I need her to understand like it's okay to take time to yourself and do shit for yourself and just do nothing. You know, you're fucking. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. Everybody knows Haitians work 10 times. They work hard as fuck. All my Haitian friends got like 40 jobs. And they don't give a, like, living a mediocre life is just not in their fucking cards. Every Haitian friend I have, like, work their asses. Not to say any of my other friends don't work their asses off, but like my Haitian friends, y'all don't know when to just like, all right, let me take some time for myself. Y'all will treat yourselves. Like, I will say that. Like, you very much are like, I'm doing a whole spa day. But
I'm big on traveling. That's why my mother could be getting mad. Like, every time I turn around, you say you're going here, you're going there. I'm like, what
that's the benefits of having your own businesses.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you think I'm supposed to do? Work, pay taxes, and die?
Yes. That's the mindset I'm trying to get my mom out of. Like, I really want her to travel and experience life because she did so much for us and she sacrificed a shit ton for us. So it was to the point, my dad, who they've been divorced for almost 20 years, was like, I will pay for your flight to Cape Verde if you go to Cape Verde. My mom's like, no, I don't want to go. I was just like, so we're just gonna sit at home.
Cold ass, dry ass Boston.
Seriously. I was like, okay, what about like going to Florida as a family? She's like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, got it. We've been trying to plan a family trip for probably 10 years.
How about you guys just trick her and bring her to the airport?
And then my brother's like, he doesn't want to upset my mom, so he's always on her side. And I'm just like, I know you're her caregiver, but you don't always have to be on her side.
Exactly.
Like, you could tell her, like, no, you're going to this fucking trip.
Yeah.
But,
so, I get it. No, when I left undergrad, I was like, once I start getting in a place where I have more money, I'm traveling. And I told my parents that I don't care, I'm traveling. I did a few travel bouts here or there while I was in college. But once I got out of college and money started coming, the last 5 years or so, I've been very adamant with taking trips, going to places and stuff like that. For those of you who know me, who follow my personal page, you've seen, like, I posted my highlights, the places I've been to, more so recently. I've been to Haiti multiple times due to my parents. I've been going to Haiti since I was 3. But I've always told myself I want to gain these experiences and do the same for my children when they come into the picture. Take them to these places to have experiences. Parties are fun, yes, but I want them to be able to be well-rounded individuals that understand that living here in America ain't the only place. We ain't the shit like that. We can understand other cultures, other languages, how people move. And
other cultures are so much more richer. And
yes.
It's. I think you posted it. It's like when Haitians think coming to America is like the best thing in the world. It's like such a lavish lifestyle. Like,
no,
it is a lie. It's a lie.
This land of milk and honey is actually got a little doo-doo and pee in it. It's not.
That milk is not milk. And that
it expired.
It's giving me buttermilk. It's giving me rotten. It's giving me expired.
Girl. So, and that honey is actually corn syrup.
It's artificial flavors.
Right. It's not the real honeybee and the honeycomb at all. It's corn syrup.
It's giving me mass produced.
So, GMO. So, literally, like, I've been very adamant with that. So, even, like, okay, 2020, the world got shut down. Once things started to slowly open up, all of 2020, I was taking random trips. Done went to,
I don't know.
Technical difficulties, guys.
How did this start happening? Please, Lord Jesus.
I didn't catch it. I don't know why it's doing that again. It's gonna piss me off. Hello.
Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off.
So,
we should probably end this anyways.
Yeah, so we're gonna end there here. But as always, recognize when your body is saying chill the fuck out, take care of yourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, all that good shit.
Yeah.
Anything you wanna add?
No, Peggy's like rushing, like, we gotta cut this shit short now.
Oh no, but let me give y'all the business shout out for this week. Is Coco Chanel, CocoChannelle. She also has a website, www.cocochanelfaces.com. She's a makeup artist, an esthetician, skincare guru. She does facials, makeup. She also sells lashes. She has a skincare line. Check her out.
All right, and the quote, because we gotta rush this shit. We gotta figure out what these technical difficulties are.
Literally.
All right, so the quote to end this would be, you can do anything, but you cannot do everything. But what you can do is like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification. Give us some feedback and share. Did I say that already?
I don't know if you said share, but you said like. But anyways, peace, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Peace out.